Yeah, you probably gathered from my reminder email that a limerick might feature. And if that's what you thought, you were right. Um, I was thinking, what can I say on Thursday? And then it occurred to me that I have a collection of limericks um, that which appeals to me, and I hope it will appeal to
Yeah.
at least some of you. And I wondered about limericks, and the implication is that they were related to Limerick in Ireland. Um, there's some uh, doubt about that, but anyway, um, they all what they have in common is a particular verse structure. So they contain a single verse, uh, and the verse always has 5 lines, and the rhyming scheme is common to all of them. It's A B B A. So the first 2 lines and the last line rhyme. And I found out that because of the simple form, they're popular among amateur poets. And you will have realised that I include myself in that. And I have in my reading in a minute, I have one I wrote, which you might be interested in. You might also be aware and remember that Edward Lear was a well-known proponent, and he wrote lots of nonsense rhymes, and he often included the same word that concludes line 1 to conclude line 5, which I actually feel is a little bit lazy, but anyway. And because it's simple, a limerick form is often used for children's nursery rhymes. So here's a good example. Hickory, hickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1, the mouse ran down, hickory, dickory dock. And because it's simple and a sort of a trivial nature of a limerick, it's used a lot for children's nursery rhymes. Anyway, that's a preamble, and I'm going to try and share my screen now, so I can show you a few more.
The nursery rhyme Dr. Foster went to Gloucester is a limerick, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'll try again. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Oh, there it is.
You're very welcome, Ian.
Okay, you see the John Cooper Clarke one.
Yeah, speak that, Ian.
2 ugly sisters from Fordham went walking one day out of boredom. On the way back, a sex maniac jumped out of a bush and ignored them. I thought that was a good one. And we have somebody playing around with the format of a limerick. And again, this is fairly well known, I think. There was a young man from Japan who wrote verse that one could scan. When something was so, he said, "Yes, I know, but I like to get as many words into the last line." And there's another variation. Another one. There once was a lady of wantage, of whom the Lord Mayor took advantage. Said the borough surveyor, "Of course you must pay her. You've altered the shape of her front." Yes, there's one that will just sort of, well, I suppose it's written to confuse everybody. There was a young man of St. Bees who thought he'd been stung by a wasp. When asked if it hurt, he said, "Yes, it does, but I'm glad that it wasn't a hornet."
Tomorrow for lunch?
That's
you had some before, didn't you, on toast? Was that all right?
don't have to
That's right.
Okay, next one. There was an old person of Tring who, when somebody asked her to sing, replied, "Ain't it odd? I can never tell God Save the Weasel from Pop Goes the King." I've got a few more if you want. Here's one. There was an old man of Darjeeling who travelled from London to Ealing. It said on the door, "Don't spit on the floor," so he carefully spat on the ceiling. And then here's a play on words, or one word anyway. There was a young fellow from Clyde who fell down a sewer and died. The next day his brother fell into another, and now they're interred side by side. So, now here's one that is a real tongue twister. Wish me luck, everybody. A certain young fellow named BB wished to wed a young woman named Phoebe, but he said, "I must see what the clerical fee be before Phoebe be Phoebe BB." And then not many more now. An elephant slept in his bunk, and in slumber his chest rose and sunk. But he snored, how he snored! All the other bees snored, so his wife tied a knot in his trunk. And then the often limericks are a little bit crude, and here's an example. A funny young fellow named Perkins was terribly fond of small gherkins. One day after tea, he ate 93 and pickled his internal workings. And then finally, or almost finally, here's one of mine. Now here's an idea that might sell, and words that will sure ring a bell. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but you have to throw hard and aim well.
Oh, I like that.
Very clever.
Finally, that's more than enough for one day. Thank goodness, I hear you all say. There'd be more than 7. I counted 11. Enough to cause utter dismay.
Very good.
Well done.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ian.
Very good.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you, Ian.